Okay, so today we're going to do the last section, which is 8.5 real-world problems. So to find the volume or surface area of a composite solid, you have to identify the basic solids that make it up, find the volume or surface area of each piece, and then add or subtract them to find the total. Okay, so we're going to start with this first one. Kind of looks like a farm silo. It's made of a cone on the top and then a cylinder on the bottom. So we need to find the volume of each of those shapes, a cylinder and a cone. So volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h, and the volume of a cone is pi r squared h divided by 3. Okay, so for the cylinder, 3.14 times 8 squared times 7. And then for the cone, you're going to have 3.14 times 8 squared times your height, which is... Now, how do we find the height of the cone? Well, if this entire height from the bottom to the top is 13, and the height of the cylinder is 7, 13 minus 7 is 6, so that means this piece right here, this height right here of just your cone is 6 centimeters. So we're going to plug in 6 here, and then we have to divide that by 3. Okay? So let's plug this all in, and we have 3.14 times 64 times 7. That gives us 1,406.72. That would be centimeters cubed. That is just the cylinder. And then for the cone, 3.14 times 64 times 6, divide by 3. That gives me 401.92 centimeters cubed. And then we have to add those two together to get the total volume, plus 1,406.72. We end up with 1,000, and it says, round your answer, right here it says, round your answer to the nearest cubic centimeter, which would be whole number, so you're going to get 1809, because 1808.64 will round to 1,809 centimeters cubed for the total. Okay, so let's look at the second one. A wooden toy is made up of a cone attached to a hemisphere, so a half of a sphere. The slant height of the cone is 13 centimeters. What is the surface area of the toy? Okay, so we need to find the surface area of half of a sphere. Okay, so surface area of a sphere is pi r, 4 pi r squared. But we want half of a sphere, so we're going to have to divide that whole thing by 2, because you don't want the whole sphere. So if you look here, you only have half of it. The other half of the sphere would be up here. Okay? So let's do that first, and then we'll go back to the cone. So this is going to be 4 times 3.14. They're giving us a diameter of 10. So if my diameter is 10, that means our radius is 5. So 5 squared, and then we're going to divide that by 2. Okay, so 4 times 3.14 times 25, divide by 2, I get 157 centimeters squared. It's squared because it's surface area. Okay, so now we're going to go to the cone. Now, since we're doing the area of the surface, we're not covering that circle with, we're just doing the outside, so you only need the lateral surface area of a cone. So remember, surface area of a cone is pi r squared plus pi r slant height. So remember, since we're not covering the circle part, you're not going to use the part of the circle formula. So you're just going to do pi rl. So pi is 3.14. Your radius again is 5. And your height is 13. Okay, so 3.14 times 5 times 13. You get 204.1 centimeters squared. And now since we need the total, we have to put those two numbers together. So you're going to do 157 plus 204.1. Again, this time it says round your answer to the nearest tenth. And you get 361.1, excuse me, not 6.1 centimeters squared. All right, last one. A candle holder is in the shape of a cube with a cylindrical hole through the middle. The edge length of the cube is 15 centimeters. The height is 9 and the radius is 2.5. What is the volume of the candle holder? Now, the deal here is this part is not there. That's where the candle's going to go in. So this time you're not going to add your two pieces together. You're going to have to subtract. So what you need to do, I'm going to get you set up and then I have you try it. You need to find volume of a, I guess it's a cube. And then you need to find the volume of a cylinder. And then at the end, you're not going to add this time, you are going to subtract to get the answer. Okay, so I'm going to turn it off and have you try that one, and then we'll go over it together. Okay, so the first thing I needed to do was find the volume of a cube. Volume of a cube is length times width times height. Your length, width, and height are each 15, so 15 times 15 times 15 gives me 3,375 cubic centimeters. That's just for the cube. Then we had to find the volume of the cylinder, which is pi r squared h. So 3.14, they're telling you, they show you that the radius is 2.5 squared. And then the height of the cylinder, it says right here, is 9. When I do all that, I got 176.625 centimeters cubed. Now, I told you this is where the candle is going to go, so that needs to be subtracted. That's going to be hollow or empty, so you can fit a candle in there. So 3,375 minus 176.625 gives me 3,198.375, but it wants you to round to the nearest cubic centimeter. So when I round that up, it's going to be 3,198 centimeters cubed. Okay, so have a good night. See you tomorrow.